Living in Suwanee, Georgia is becoming more and more popular every year. As one of Atlanta's best suburbs, there's no wonder why so many people want to live in Suwanee, Georgia. What's going on, y'all? Welcome back to the channel. In this video, we're going to talk about the benefits of living in Suwanee, Georgia, and we'll also break down some of the neighborhoods there in Suwanee, and we're also going to talk about some of the bad parts about living in Suwanee that you should be aware of. Let's get right into it. The city of Suwanee is in the northeast part of Metro Atlanta in Gwinnett County. Also in Gwinnett County are cities like Beaufort, Duluth, Lawrenceville. No question that Gwinnett County is one of the most popular counties in all of Metro Atlanta. They have some of the best schools. Lots of young families live there. So let's dial down into the city of Suwanee and let's take a look at 3 neighborhoods in Suwanee, Georgia. This first neighborhood is Morning View, and it's located in the east part of Suwanee off of Westbrook Road, about 5 minutes from the town center. Most of the homes in Morning View were built in the late 90s. The average size home in this neighborhood is between 4,000 and 5,000 square feet. The average lot size in this neighborhood is about half an acre, and the schools associated with Morning View are Suwanee Elementary School, North Gwinnett Middle School, and North Gwinnett High School. The HOA here includes pools, tennis courts, and access to the greenway, and the average home value in Morning View is between $600,000 and $700,000. This next neighborhood is the Edinburgh neighborhood. It's off of Johnson Road near Settlesbridge Road. Most of the homes in this neighborhood were built in the early 2000s, and the average size home varies quite a bit from 3,000 square feet to 5,000 square feet. The average lot size in this neighborhood is between 0.3 acres and 0.6 acres, and the schools associated with this neighborhood are Riverside Elementary School, North Gwinnett Middle School, and North Gwinnett High School. The HOA here also includes a pool, tennis court, and a golf course. And the average home value in Edinburgh is between $700,000 and $1.1 million. And then this next neighborhood is the Riverbrook neighborhood on the west part of Suwanee off of James Burgess Road. Most of the homes in this neighborhood were built around 2010. The average size home in this neighborhood is between 3,000 and 4,000 square feet. The average lot size in Riverbrook is a quarter of an acre, and the schools associated with Riverbrook are Settlesbridge Elementary School, Riverwatch Middle School, and Lambert High School. The HOA includes a pool and tennis courts, and the average home value in Riverbrook is between $550,000 and $600,000. No question that one of the best parts about living in Suwanee is the school ratings. Many people from other parts of the country and other parts of Georgia will come to Gwinnett County or to Suwanee to take advantage of the amazing public school system that they have there. According to greatschools.org, Riverside Elementary School is a 9 out of 10, Northbrook Middle School is a 9 out of 10, and North Gwinnett High School is also a 9 out of 10. There really are a whole lot of great reasons to live in Suwanee, Georgia, but there are a few things about Suwanee that you should be aware of that might not go for everybody. It might not be the city that everybody wants to move to, kind of depending on the criteria that you're looking for in a new home or a new area. So let's talk about some of the downsides of living in Suwanee so you can be sure if it's the right city for you. First of all, Suwanee is a very quiet town. It's a suburban town. You know, there's not a whole lot of things to do there. It's not like the city of Atlanta, where Atlanta is kind of a urban city. You know, there's certainly a whole lot of things to do in the city of Atlanta. Suwanee, Georgia is not like that. It's about 45 minutes from the city of Atlanta, and it's a suburban feeling town with neighborhoods all around the city and sporadic shopping here and there, but it's nothing like the city of Atlanta. There's no kind of nightlife. There's no public transportation in Suwanee. So if that's the kind of city you're looking for, a city like Atlanta with lots of things to do and walkability, you know, in all parts of the city, Suwanee is not really that kind of city, which brings me to my next point, which is that the most common demographic that lives in Suwanee is like young families. So if you're like a young professional who is just trying to be very close to Atlanta for work, and if you're wanting to live in an area that has other young people or single people, like Suwanee's not really that kind of city. It's going to be a lot of families with young kids who are mainly there for the amazing school system that they have there. So it's certainly something to think about if you are wanting to live in Suwanee. And then another downside about living in Suwanee is that Suwanee is kind of a small city, not just population-wise, but area-wise. So there's not really a whole lot of variety there. Most of the homes are about the same in Suwanee. And then also, there's not a lot of job opportunities there in Suwanee. It's kind of a small town with not a whole lot of things going on. And then another downside about living in Suwanee is that while the school systems there in Suwanee and in Gwinnett County are amazing and really a big draw to a lot of people who move to that area, you need to keep in mind that some of the schools there in Suwanee are overcrowded, lots of students per classroom, and that kind of makes sense. I mean, again, there's a lot of people who live there for the school systems, so the schools can be a bit overcrowded sometimes. Certainly something to think about if you have a young child or a young student who would be attending one of the public schools there in Suwanee. But overall, there's no question that Suwanee is really one of the best cities in all of Metro Atlanta. Certainly, Suwanee has its downsides, like every city does in Metro Atlanta, but there are really an overwhelming amount of benefits to living in Suwanee. And one of those benefits is going to be the city center of Suwanee, which is called Town Center. Town Center has a huge green park area in the middle. It's very common to find people there just picnicking or hanging out, throwing the ball. It's really common there in Town Center. And then also there's an amphitheater in Town Center, which every once in a while they have some kind of event or concerts there. And then along the outside of the town center area, there's some shopping there, shopping and restaurants, and really a whole lot of things to do when it comes to walkability if you lived super close to the Suwanee town center. And when it comes to finding an area that has easy walkability, town center kind of provides that. If you lived close enough to town center, you would be able to walk around that area very easily to and from home, especially if you worked there in town center. That would be super convenient if you lived nearby. But overall, town center is certainly one of the highlights of the city of Suwanee. Something to keep in mind if you plan on living in Suwanee, Georgia, is the main roads there in Suwanee, which are Peachtree Industrial Boulevard and Buford Highway, are kind of the roads where most of the commercial areas are located. And then kind of off of those roads is where you would find some of the neighborhoods. Those two roads run diagonally through the city, and they run all the way south as far as Atlanta. So it's really the main road that people use to commute in and out of work if they work in Atlanta. Of course, what this means is that these are the roads where you're going to find the majority of the traffic in Suwanee, Georgia. So if you're trying to get around the rush hour traffic, those are the roads that you really want to try to avoid. Not only will you find traffic on those roads during rush hour, but you could also find a lot of traffic on those roads in other times of the week, nights or weekends. Those two roads have a lot of intersections, which is one of the reasons why there's so much traffic on that road. And then another main road that goes through there is Interstate 85. Now, Interstate 85 is a very different road than Peachtree Industrial Boulevard or Buford Highway. Interstate 85 is obviously an interstate. There's no intersections that run through there. They have the typical on-ramps and off-ramps. That's what you're going to find on I-85. And that really is the main road, not just for people going to Atlanta from Suwanee, but from many other city suburbs around Metro Atlanta. So Interstate 85 is certainly going to be one of the most congested roads that you're going to find in Suwanee. Something else that makes Suwanee really a great part of town to live in is the amount of parks that they have there. George Pierce Park, Suwanee Creek Park, and Sims Lake Park are all located in Suwanee, Georgia, and certainly provide lots of outdoor activities. There are hiking trails. There's a big lake in Sims Lake Park, obviously. So plenty of ways to get outside in Suwanee, plenty of ways to experience nature and be outdoors. And that's really another big reason why so many people want to live in Suwanee. So there's a lot of great reasons to live in Suwanee, but there's also some downsides to living in Suwanee. If you want a full list of the pros and cons of living in Suwanee, Georgia, check out this video. I'll see you there.